Today you're going to join me for a wander out the moor to a Lewis Trout loch. It's not a particularly remarkable loch in the sense that it doesn't hold big trout or anything like that, but it's a lovely place to go on a nice day. But the first thing to do is to drive out the track in the car. So we're lucky that for the first part of the walk here, somebody has run a quad bike up this. Now it's quite some time since they did it, like maybe 3 or 4 years. But I think maybe it happens now and again still. And this actually makes the walking a wee bit easier. So one of the things about the Lewis Moor is that it contains many, maybe hundreds or thousands of these wee tiny lochans, and some of them hold fish and some of them don't hold fish, and some of them hold huge fish, but are very rarely fished because of course no one ever thinks to put the line out on something like this. Now this one I know holds a few wee tiny dark fish, and so isn't worth a cast, but nonetheless, it's interesting sometimes to put the line out on them and see what they return, because sometimes you can be in for a surprise. So there we go, we came all the way for this. Fantastic loch. Produces reasonable brown trout, not huge, but stuffed about 3/4 pound, I suppose. Oh, what a wonderful loch. It also has crystal clear water, which is most remarkable because some of the lochs can be quite brown, you know, and peaty. But a fantastic place. Now that I'm out here, finding a decent spot to make tea is the priority. Time for the first cast for trout in a long time, and such a wonderful day for it on a fantastic loch. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we get lucky. So here we go, having walked around the loch. this bank here tends to fish about the best. So I'm going to give that a wee try and see if we can't get a fish or two here. It's still shallow here close in, and I don't know if you can see that, but the water's beautifully clear with all these big flat stones, and the big flat stones here go out beyond where you can cast to, but the fish do lie in among them sometimes, so there's always the chance of a fish out of them. Though cold wind and bright sky conditions are tough today, but we'll see what we can do. Being right-handed, the wind's a bit tough for me here, but we'll see if we can move a fish. Oh, that was a fish, but unfortunately he didn't stick. So there we go. The blue Zulu has gone on to the top dropper. I think he's as good as any, though I'm sure I'll probably lose him on a rock in a minute or two as well. But we'll give him a go. It's one of my favourite flies and does well, though something a bit brighter, sometimes something with a bit of red in it or something, can do better on this loch. But again, we'll see how we go with it. Oh, and there we are, wee fish. I think he's come on the Zulu, which is so there we go. A decent wee trout, a wee bit on the thin side I would say, and I don't think he would quite make the pound. I thought, looking at the length of him, he might, but I'm going to put him back in, let him return to his watery lair, and scoot, away he goes. Well, it's not going great so far, but I think it's lunchtime. The black pennel on the point especially isn't doing well for me. I don't think it's moved a single fish, so I think it can come off, though it's pretty much a standard for me. But I think the pennel comes off and we'll have some lunch because I'm starving, and then we'll see how we go after that. Well, I think that'll do us with the fishing for another day. A few nice wee fish and a good walk, and still a good walk ahead of us to get back out. So it's time to turn around and head for home, but I'm sure I'll have a few casts as I go along on the way back. There we go. Another lovely wee fish. Oh, and he's let himself go. Away he goes like the clappers. Well, that's the worst of the walk back out over us, and we're now heading down towards the burn. So it'll not be long now till we start to see the car. Much as you enjoy a day out, it's always good to see once you get the car in your sights as well on the way back in. At the end of a day like that, no matter how fantastic the day is, it's always good to be back and seeing the car again.